Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, I'm not sure who asked for this, but Netflix is giving us our first look at Tiger King Part 2. Then,
Am I dead?
Yes, you're dead.
she's my buddy. Paranormal investigator Dawn McClain is back with spooky evidence of the haunting of a legendary restaurant.
Let Marguerite go to the light.
And what goes great with wine? Oreos. The wine diva is here. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Maple Valley, Washington. Good morning, Maple Grove. Good morning, Maplewood. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Connie's House of Croutons Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
Why do you have a sourpuss on you? What? The show just started. What in the world could I have done to you already?
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened before the show started? The whole room decided to insult my favorite genre of music.
What is your favorite genre? Country western?
EDM.
Oh. Well, we didn't insult it. We were just having a discussion.
What is this? What is this music? You just push play. How hard is that, Jeff?
Well, I mean, come on. It is a little...
Tiesto is in town, and I'm missing it because it's too expensive, but oh my gosh, he's amazing. He's so talented, and stop insulting my people.
Okay, that's fine. Then know who Cher is, and then we'll be even.
I know who Cher is. By the way, Cher has been, some of these DJs make the best Cher remixes. Like, she even probably likes them.
The best mixes come from my people. Let's just be very clear.
And they're DJs.
Not all of them.
If they mix something, they're a DJ.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Okay, boop. Where's my electric window for Kindle? Beep. Yeah.
Hey.
Beep. Anyway, welcome to the show. Hey, I want to say thank you. We don't do a lot of, I don't know why I'm talking in long vowels. We don't do a lot of serious topics. We don't do a lot of serious discussions on the show. But a couple days ago, I felt after I watched it in its entirety, I felt it was necessary to talk about the Dave Chappelle special that's been controversial. And I just want to say thank you for the respectful back and forth that has occurred over the last few days. You're kind of making my point. Because we weren't even, there was even talk of, people were like, I had a friend yesterday, wow, you talked about that? And that bothers me. That shouldn't be the way that it is. We should be able to have a respectful back and forth, a loving back and forth. And at the end of the journey, we may not agree, but we can have a conversation. That's where growth happens. Mm-hmm. So I didn't like the fact that people didn't even want me to mention it. I'm like, no, I can stand in my truth. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to hear other points of view, and I have. So many of you have respectfully disagreed with my viewpoint and have tweeted me articles that I have read. Another beautiful lady texted me a documentary on Netflix about what it is like to be in the trans community and have media kind of going after you. So I've taken all this in, and I appreciate it. I will say, though, I hope people understand, too, that I was not speaking for the trans community. I'm a gay guy. I was speaking for myself. And though our experiences are different, I hope everybody knows that I come from a place of incredible empathy. I grew up in Indiana in the 80s and 90s. There were basically 4 gay people in Indiana, and I was 3. And it was awful. You know, people rightfully pointed out that the media's representation of trans can cause violent repercussions. That's not lost on me. I grew up in the 80s. I lived through the Eddie Murphy, and I lived through the era where gay jokes flew with ease. And I am also a person that was violently attacked. I mean, I had my first day of high school, I was spat on, and I had a giant pile of books dropped on me from the top of a stairwell and knocked me out. I was beaten up. I had a PE teacher who made me take off my shirt and I was the dodge in dodgeball. He put me and my friend Jim in the middle of the gym, and the football guys got to throw a ball at me and calling me names, calling me the F word. I mean, so I say all this not for sympathy. Those struggles have given me strength. I say that because I want you to know I hear you and I have empathy and I get where you're coming from. I don't know your pain, but I know the pain of being attacked because of who you are. So I just want you to know I hear you and I appreciate you and I appreciate the back and forth, even if we don't agree. And that's really the way these conversations should happen, because that's the only way change is going to occur. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it. Oh,
Forehead.
Can somebody, I just whacked myself in the head. Can I just call the doctor?
Some goulash.
Oh my goodness, I literally just whacked myself. Hi. Part 3 of Erica Girardi's I'm a Victim tour continued last night, also known as the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. And she told Andy she is keeping track, girl, of who's supporting her and who isn't.
So, who is for you and who is against you?
I don't know. You should ask them.
Well, but you said when this is all over, I'm going to remember who was for me and who was against me.
Yes, I'm keeping score.
You are keeping score.
Uh-huh.
So what's the score so far?
I'm going to keep that to myself. I think it's pretty.
Can I say something? Because I've been reading stories in the tabloids, whatever, online. You were upset with me, and I just hope you know that we were in such a difficult position. And, you know, there was many things I know that you couldn't say, but then I thought, well, there's things that you could say that would help us understand a little more, which was very complicated.
The thing that hurt me the most was to watch that dinner with you and Mauricio and you and PK. To watch the four of you mock my life and mock my family really hurt me.
So here's the deal. She still came across as defensive. And even her biggest defender, Renna, was trying to get her to see that the way she's coming across, the optics are not good. The other takeaway, and this broke my heart, Crystal also talked about the racism that she's faced from fans, from racist pigs. If you don't know, if you don't watch the show, Crystal is the first Asian American housewife on this particular franchise. And she says that she receives weekly, talk about hate, she receives weekly hundreds of hateful, vitriolic comments, DMs on social media. She's shut down her Twitter. That's disgusting. That's just not the way, I don't want to be Pollyanna, it's just not the way it's supposed to be. This is a stupid show, it's a dumb show, and she's getting hate mail because she's an Asian American? What the hell's wrong with you?
Right. Not because of her views on
No.
anything, literally just because of who she is.
Yep. Awful. Awful, awful. By the way, part 18 airs next week on Bravo. They could have just done 3. I love this show, but
didn't you say that? They could just stop.
They could have stopped at 3.
Yeah.
Like, I always take more Housewives, but really? Next in the dish. Okay, Kendall, grab the we didn't ask for this file.
Okay.
Thank you. Joe Exotic is back. Thank you. Even Leslie Miller's drinking wine at that announcement. Netflix dropped the trailer for Tiger King 2, and if we must, let's watch it together.
What's the nature of the dispute between you and Mr. Love?
Adios, Joe.
Very personal. We've got varying versions of what happened.
In order for there to be justice, there has to be truth.
We want some answers.
Joe didn't hurt anybody. That's my opinion.
We gotta put our differences aside. But we're all gonna die in here. If I have to make a deal with the devil, I will make a deal with the devil.
Who wants to watch a documentary where 75% of it is a dude on the telephone? That's like a documentary on Charlie Brown's mom.
Ooh.
Wah, 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 wah. Who wants to listen to that?
So you're not interested in this?
No, because here's the deal. I loved the Tiger King, but we got to put it in context. We loved it for several reasons. It was salacious. And it was also the first couple months of the pandemic, and we couldn't do anything else. Now we're over it. I mean, we're over it. This is such a gross cash grab. That's what this is to me. It's like squeezing the Tiger King. Anyway, it's just disgusting. Yeah. We don't need any more milk from that cow, is what I'm trying to say.
No, and honestly, at this point, don't you just despise and detest all of them? So
They're
like,
all
why?
they're gross. Every single one of them.
I'm just like, free the cats on them.
The new season, if you want to watch it, drops next month. Let's move on. Next in the dish. Did you guys see Fallon last night? Elton John was on. He has a new album out. It's called The Lockdown Sessions. It's been wildly successful. I love it. I've been listening to it in my car on repeat. It has duets with Dua Lipa, Charlie Puth, Stevie Wonder, none of the DJs Kendall mentioned. And he talked about the time he almost rejected Stevie Wonder. Look at this.
I have a photo here from 1973, and I think there's a cool story behind it. Do you remember where this was or what this was?
I do remember, and it's not one of my brightest and most wonderful moments. I was on the Starship, which was a jet that we were renting, and I'd just done a show. It was my birthday, and I wasn't happy with the show, so I went up front and sat on my own, and they said, oh, come up to the bar, we want to sing Happy Birthday to you. And I went, I'm not interested in my birthday. And this happened about 3 or 4 times until my publicist burst into tears and said, you have to come up there. Stevie Wonder's at the organ. Of course, the plane had an organ on it. And he wants to sing Happy Birthday to you. And I felt such a horror. I felt so bad. And I went up there and he sang Happy Birthday to me. And it's an incident I will never forget. And as I say, I'm not very proud of.
You're turning down Stevie Wonder, but you know the thing that I got out of that story is he had a plane with a piano in it and an organ.
Yep.
You know what song? Let me pull this up. Jeff plays it during the commercial breaks. My favorite, a little music suggestion. You know which one I'm going to mention, Kendall?
The Dua Lipa one?
Cold Heart. It's a redo of Cold Heart with Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
It's so good, everybody. Go on Apple Music, Spotify, Sam Goody, Record Town, wherever you... Remember Record Town, Jeff? Oh.
No.
You didn't have him here? Oh, Record Town was so good. Oh, Record Town was the place where you bought records. And it was like, CDs and tapes. She's very young, very, very young. This is Elton John's 32nd album. Dear friends, go grab some Sanka. We'll be back right after this with more. More hot dishes coming out of the oven. Coming up next, the Piano Man for sale? What would it take for Billy Joel to sell his legendary library? He's sitting down with Howard Stern. Then, ghosts on the menu.
Open the door for her and let her go to the light.
Paranormal investigator Dawn McClain is back with unbelievable evidence of some activity in a legendary restaurant. And here's proof wine goes with anything and everything. Wine diva Leslie Miller is pairing vino with Oreos. That and more when we return.
Do you have like, I know you have input in everything, obviously, but are you focused on what Catherine would wear on the show?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. I shopped for basically every look and would bring them all in. Well, because the budget of our show was about 6 pennies in a shell. And so when you have no money, but you want to dress people in designer clothes, you have to find creative ways of doing that. So I would shop the entire year, save the clothes, and then bring them to set and work with our costume designer to style them. It's left me with the most horrendous shopping addiction.
Oh, has it? Oh, because
Well, I was shopping on a company card, and now I'm just shopping, and there's no company card anymore.
Dan, not Daniel Levy, on Jimmy Kimmel last night, our late night rewind. Well, our hot dish continues right now. Kendall, with our source in Hollywood. I know. Please welcome back from the Hollywood Raw podcast, your friend and mine, the great and powerful Dax Holt. Good morning, Dax.
Good morning, Jason. How are you today, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Couldn't get my camera to work, so I'm going off my cell phone today. But nevertheless, we power through it.
I was going to say, you sound like you're live at an Office Depot or something, so I was wondering what was happening.
Sorry about that. My normal mic isn't hooked in. But we're making it work.
You know what, Dax? That's what you have to do. Okay, you had Brooke Hogan on the podcast this week. What's she up to?
She was probably one of my favorite guests we have ever had on Hollywood Raw. She was unbelievable, so just open and honest, down to earth. I loved this interview, Jason. She was so good. But, you know, she hasn't really done a lot of interviews in years. So this is kind of like her first full-length interview in like 3 years. We talked a little bit about everything, the scandals in her family. We talked about a point in her life where she basically had zero money because she refuses to be one of those rich celebrity kids that just, you know, leeches off her parents. She goes, no, I needed to make money after working in reality TV. I moved to Nashville and I kind of got out of the entertainment world for a little bit. She goes, to be honest, I haven't really told anyone this. You guys are the first ones I'm telling, but I went and I got a cocktail waitress job at a JW Marriott in Nashville, and I loved it. She goes, it was one of my favorite jobs, just working in the service industry and talking to people. She's like, there was a lot of people that came into the restaurant that were like, are you Brooke Hogan serving me right now? And she's like, yeah. And I had a great time and I met people, and she said it was a very, different experience from working in front of the camera for so long, but she absolutely loved it. And then, you know, we got into her father's health and how many surgeries he's gone through. I mean,
yeah, how's he doing?
Talked about it all.
How's he doing, Dax? Did she say?
She said he's doing really well. She said that the other day they were on the phone talking about like just literally counting up the surgeries, and they got to 25. He's literally had like shoulders, both knees numerous times, back, like everything. She was kind of like listing it all off for us. I mean, he's basically been rebuilt.
Oh my good, he's like the bionic, an old reference. He's like the $1 million man or something, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and you know what? So she's got music coming out on Halloween. She's got a new song that she's gonna release called Better. And we talked her into leaking it on our podcast. It was a good like 5 minutes of us begging her to play just like 10 seconds of it, and she's finally like, fine, but if I get in trouble, this is on you guys, because there's producers, there's record label, there's everything behind it. And so she played us some of it, and it actually got picked up yesterday because everyone's like, oh, she's leaking her music.
What is it? Is it pop? Is it country? Is it EDM? What is it?
It's pop, and it actually sounds phenomenal. I'm actually excited to hear the full produced version of it come out on the radio. But if you want to check it out, head on over to the pods to our podcast, and you can check out the song.
You mentioned Halloween. You usually have some good costumes. Are you guys dressing up this year?
I'm sure we will. I haven't put much time into it. We have giant Halloween boxes that I normally go through every year and just create something. So I'm sure we'll get there.
Look at you, crafty Connie, just putting something together. Well, thank you, buddy. Have a good Halloween. Best of the family.
Thank you, you too.
You can find the Hollywood Raw podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See, I slipped some. Did you hear my EDM reference in there?
I was like, did he just say that?
Yeah, I did that for you because I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We just got an email in the commercial break. Can I tell you the first line? And
yes.
Anytime, I want all emails to start like this. It starts. It's from a woman named Sarah, and it starts, I honestly don't usually watch this show. But I happen to be, like, I don't know, nailing something to the wall, bored out of my mind, so I just turned on this guy. Mm-hmm. But I love that. I hope every email, I don't usually like you, but I happen to be in the hospital.
And it's not that bad.
And the nurse won't bring me the remote control, so I'm stuck on your station. I'm basically in a coma, and I can't get the remote, so I'm forced to watch you.
Do you know how many people tell me they see this show in like getting their oil changed or at the car dealership?
No, I want creative services they're both creative and a service. I want a graphic that says The Jason Show, the official show of maternity leave. I have had so many babies birthed during our, not here in the studio, but I mean, well, Eric did have a baby, but that's fine.
That was just that one time.
That was just that one time. Next in the dish, Billy Joel visited the Howard Stern show yesterday, Baba Booey, and Howard asked Billy if he's considered selling his music catalog. Like Bob Dylan, Neil Young did, Tina Turner just did. He says he's been approached, but said no. His rationale is this. He says his songs are like his children and likes to be able to decide when and how his music is used for, like commercial purposes. If he wants his music used in a toothbrush ad, he'll say so. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. And like, oh, this vacuum cleaner wants me. No. Howard asked, what if he was offered $1 billion for the catalog? And Billy said, well, that would be a game changer, and of course he would sell. I was listening to this interview, and one of the things that struck me was actually something that Howard said before the interview. And he said there's really not a lot of Billy Joels out there anymore. And think about it. I mean, nowadays you don't even have to be able to sing to be a singer and be famous.
That's true.
I'm not even making a joke. It's
Right.
true. He's like, there's not a lot of singer-songwriters that can craft a catalog like Billy Joel, like Elton John. There's really not. I mean,
No.
there aren't a lot. Adele, does she write all of her own stuff? Do we know? She does,
Adele,
yeah.
Gaga. I mean, but it's not
It's
like
limited.
it used to be.
Yeah. I love Billy Joel. You can listen to that whole interview on Sirius XM. So, next in the dish. A young woman returns to her late mother's small hometown after learning her family's business is facing bankruptcy. She wants to sell her mom's home, but after meeting the current renters, her life changes forever. This is the plot behind the Food Network's. This is the plot behind the Food Network's first attempt at a Christmas movie. Look at this.
Are we broke?
Slightly.
Slightly?
When her holidays turn upside down,
Watch out! I just saved your life.
she'll take a wrong turn to the sweetest of places
First time in Peppermint Hollow? No, it's just been a while.
with one mission in mind.
I met my mom's childhood home in the middle of Timbuktu, Washington. And if I could just sell it, I can get my half of the investment money back. That's amazing, do that.
But the best laid plans
Are you okay?
are no match
Thanks for not evicting us yet. I assume that's why you're here.
for the true meaning of Christmas.
She's just here to collect the rent, that's all.
Then why is she out Christmas tree shopping with you and your family instead of plotting her escape?
Okay. There's so many things to break down. Who is that? The Pioneer Woman? Holy crap! I have a pan of hers. Anyway, can I say this? Can we get rid of the fake falling? And Anna, can I also say, human beings, when we fall, we don't perfectly fall like this.
Lay there like
We
that.
just don't lay there. Like her hands, did you notice that? Her hands perfectly were like this. No, you break your wrist, your hands are all contorted.
That's the only thing you want to get rid of in that.
You fall on a
commercial?
toddler. I mean, it's never pretty.
No.
But so, if you're new to us, like if you're in Washington, which by the way, we got good news. We are doing really well in Seattle. Thank you, Washington. So thanks to the people that are telling their friends. It means the world to us. Anyway, but let's stop with the shenanigans, please.
My big thing is the faux snow.
Oh, okay.
Enough with the faux snow.
Well, I mean, they're shooting these things in July. I mean, they're cranking them
Go
out
to
like.
Antarctica.
Yeah, well, they're putting them out like Oreos. That's Candy Coated Christmas, it's called. And Ree Drummond, a.k.a. the Pioneer Woman, plays the town baker. And this movie's going to hit Discovery Plus in November. I can't hate on these too much because people love these Christmas movies. Ted, our producer Ted, if you're new to us, he reviews these movies.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to add a new criteria because we make Ted do a checklist.
Yes, like bingo.
Yeah. Is there a gazebo kiss? Is it a small town, big city dynamic? Like a big city girl moves out of the big city back to her hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And marries or finds her old lover who's now like running the hardware store, and a wrench falls on her and she forgets who she is and she has to fall back in love.
Is that a movie?
Actually, I should. That's it.
You should
Could
write.
be a movie.
You should write for Hallmark.
Yeah, The Wrenches of Love. Wouldn't that be nice? I love that. Yeah.
Oh God. You
can watch it. Did I already say, Discovery Plus. And let us know how it is. We're going to take a break. We have so many great guests today. Leslie Miller's here. She's mixing wine with Oreos. It's segments like this is the reason we're winning in Seattle. And Dawn McClain, paranormal investigator. She's going to find out if any of our staff members are possessed. That and more when we continue back after this. We know Brad is. Welcome back. Well, our first guest today is all about the paranormal and goes places few others will ever dare to go. Please welcome my radio executive producer, a dear friend of mine, and the Twin Cities' premier paranormal investigator, Dawn McClain, everyone. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, I think we have a picture or something. The first thing is congratulations. Dawn was just featured in our local paper, the Star Tribune, because you have an event. Now, let's get people set up right away. The event is sadly sold out.
Sorry.
Because you're uber popular. But set the folks up here. This is about the Lexington restaurant, right?
Yes, the Lexington restaurant in St. Paul. It began in 1935. It has a really long history. Not many owners, and you know, throughout its history, they've had a lot of experiences there. So we were lucky enough to go in 3 years ago. So this is our third time at the Lexington to investigate paranormal activity there.
And you said a lot of stuff has happened there. A lot of stuff has happened there,
yes.
Meaning it used to be a place that wakes would happen.
Oh yeah, people used to bring bodies in there into the restaurant and have a wake because it was their grandpa's favorite restaurant. So in the Williamsburg room, which is when you first go into the right, where the piano is, that lovely room back there.
It's one of the dining rooms.
That's where they would actually have wakes. So, you know, a lot of spirits maybe just want to hang out there forever.
And I think people here, you've been there 3 times, and I wondered this. Is there a reason to go back 3 times?
Yes.
Do you get more connected each time you go back?
I think so, because we even ask them, like, do you remember us from last time? And our meters will go off. You know, they'll answer us.
Well, before we hear the sod, when you say meters, in a very Reader's Digest version, how do you, when you go into the Lexington, how do you, and let's give them a shout out, the Twin Cities Paranormal Society,
yes.
How do you guys communicate with the great beyond?
Okay, so it's through electromagnetic frequencies or fields. That's how we measure whether or not they're around us. So we have these, which is an EMF detector, and that pretty much measures how much electricity is around the area. And we will ask questions and it will go up and down and respond.
Okay.
I think it's going off right now because there are a lot of cameras in here, so
yeah,
it's freaking out. I'll turn that off.
It's haunted by
right.
our old producer, Carl. Yes.
Yep, and then we have a REM pod here. This is an electromagnetic pod. It actually puts out EMF and it also detects temperature. So when they're around, it will light up and go off. You know, it has a little antenna on it, and it rarely happens. Trust me, probably 1 out of 50 investigations this will go off. It went off twice at the Lexington, so.
And that's basically the version of a jackpot scenario at a slot machine.
Exactly. You're like, I mean, we're shocked when it goes off. So we have great video footage of that people will see when they come to the Lexington.
Yeah, okay, so let's get to the soundbite and talk about it on the other side.
Okay.
Set us up. What are we hearing and what are you doing in this clip?
Little confusing, but
yeah.
We also have something called a spirit box. This is a radio frequency. It scans radio stations very quickly, like 16 every second, okay? So what we do is we do something called the Estes method, which the person listening to this has headphones in. They are blindfolded, and it's very loud, so they cannot hear when we ask questions or what we're asking. So we will ask questions, and then they will randomly respond. We had so many responses that were dead on. Sorry the term, that's a terrible pun.
No.
But you know.
It's fantastic.
So we had it was just so weird. I've never had such response from that. And so we're going to play a clip of us asking questions. You will hear a girl responding. Her name is Jenny. She's great at it. She's on our team. So that's what we were doing with her. She was cut off from what we were asking.
Let's take a listen.
What message do you want us to tell people?
Am I dead?
Yes, you're dead.
It's not an answer.
Are you trapped here?
In the light?
The light? Do you see the light?
Can you ask?
Please, let Marguerite go to the light. Open the door for her and let her go to the light. Is that what you want me to ask?
Go to the
light?
Freezer?
Go to the freezer.
What's in the
Yeah.
Okay, so just to reset that plate.
Sure.
There's no way, Jenny is her name, right?
Yes, yes.
Jenny on your team has basically headphones on.
Yes.
That's blocking out all sound from the room. So she can't hear you?
No.
So she has no idea what you are actually asking the ghost. So there's no way Jenny could be making that up.
No, Jenny can't hear us. She's blindfolded. She can't see us. So she is just hearing what will happen, because I do it a lot too. You will get responses. They will speak through these frequencies and they will say full phrases. It's incredible.
And that timing was pretty spot on.
Yep.
You would ask a question, Casper would answer.
Yes, you will see in that there is an edit, but I just edited out some silence for time. So
Okay.
don't think that we're messing with it in any way. That was in response to the question.
Is that exchange, that's not normal, right? You don't get them on a lot, do you?
I would say we get
That good?
Yeah, I mean, we will go for 45 minutes and get maybe a couple responses, or maybe none at all that makes sense. She was having full conversations with us.
Do we know who that was? Was it an employee? What was the guess?
Okay, so I have some abilities. So I got an image before I went to the Lexington of a woman named Marguerite. And so we were speaking to Marguerite, and she we said, "Is this Marguerite?" And everything went off. So we're like, okay, what I saw before I came here, I guess, was correct. She used to live upstairs, is what I saw in my mind's eye, when it was apartments. So the Lexington used to be a drugstore and apartments before it was the Lexington.
It's had an incredible history, and that's why there's so many stories coming from it. And we have more when Dawn, she's going to stick around. More when we come back. Back in a moment. That's crazy.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. Just in time for Halloween, a visit with our friend Dawn McClain, paranormal investigator, and a beloved member of our radio show, Jason and Alexis in the Morning. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, back to the paranormal investigation. Okay, so we're at the Lexington. Now, where are we?
Well, this is because of COVID, we haven't been able to go out to businesses and homes.
Yeah.
People will contact us and ask us to investigate their homes. So this is in Rush City, and this is similar to the session we had before. Except this is just one of our night vision cameras, and we usually just use them to monitor the room. So when we investigate and watch evidence back, you will have to watch 5 hours of a camera shooting at nothing. But this time I was freaking out because this was the camera that was assigned to me, and I got 81 responses off of this camera. Voices. It seems like one guy just talking to himself, and so we have a little bit of
He wasn't even talking to you?
I mean, no, he was reacting to what we were doing. He was laughing at us. He cussed at us. He tells us he's going to make us fall down the stairs. It almost sounds like he's talking to another spirit as well. So.
And this is a private residence.
It is. This is
the video you're
yep,
getting ready to
that's
see.
That's correct.
Okay, let's take a look.
This is one of the upstairs. I was going to do the short section of it. You can make it on the back here or whatever. I'm going to bring this back up. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The loud exhale.
Right. Was
it that damn deer?
No.
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry.
But I mean, where are their vocal cords to do this? We don't understand it. We don't know why we can hear breathing. That happens a lot. It's like they're right up next to the camera. It's really odd.
I know because the Twin Cities Paranormal Society does this for free. They go into the places. So I don't want you to break any confidence, but did this family contacted you? Were they hearing these things? Are you allowed to say that?
Oh, sure, I can
Okay.
tell you because they've signed a release and
Oh, okay.
everything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Thank you, people.
Yes, they have a man cave. That's actually their garage that they transformed into this bar where they watch football and have a great time. And the homeowner, she got scratched across the neck. It actually bled. They have a little bar sign that flipped over that said closed, and then they'll flip it over when people come over. That flipped over right in front of her. They each heard her name right between them, audibly, like they said, the spirit said her name. So I had an image of who this was before I went there, and I described it to them, and they were like, oh my gosh, that's Uncle Bobby. And I said, I see someone named Robert, and so described what I saw, and it looked just like him. They showed me a picture. So
because again, just to reset this table, you mentioned it briefly, but not only are you a paranormal investigator, but you do have, what would you call it, Donna?
I'm mediumship abilities.
Yeah.
But it's not all the time. I can't turn it on and do a reading for someone.
No.
But I just want to make it clear also that we're a scientific group.
Yes.
And this is just something extra, but we always verify things through scientific methods.
Yeah. But you had the image of Uncle Bobby before you even talked to these people.
Yes, I didn't even know there was someone who passed, so they didn't know who it was. And then I said, oh, well, I saw this guy, I think I got the name Robert, and he looks like this. And they went, oh my gosh. I got out a photo album, and they're like, is it him? And I said, yeah. And they said, his name is Robert, and he passed away, and it's my uncle.
What's this, Dawn? Is this more of the house?
Oh yeah, this is, so there's a flash of light that happens. Did you see it right there? Okay, that was not anything in our room. That was none of our meters or flashlights. You'll see the guy in the corner, his name is Thomas. He looks over, he's like, what is that? And then we have another bit of, you'll see a flash of light here that happens in the middle of the floor, I believe. Or just over to the side. Yep, that's the same footage. Yep.
Out.
So,
No.
And there's a bathroom over in that corner actually where
that's where
people saw a shadow going by, and so that's where he hangs out upstairs.
Dawn knows how I feel about this. If I wouldn't even have to get to the point where I called Dawn, I would have called AAA movers. I would be like, I'd call U-Haul, I'd be gone. Like, no.
Yeah.
If Uncle Bob's screaming and exhaling to me, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
he
out.
just, he was just reacting to us, having fun.
Sure, Dawn.
He's a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. For more information on the Twin Cities Paranormal Society, head to tcpsmn.com. It's right there, .org rather. And if you want to follow Dawn McLean, just search for Dawn McLean on Instagram. And of course, you can listen to us weekday mornings, 6 to 9, Lord Jesus, 6 to 9 on My Talk 1071 and .com as well. We'll be back in a moment. Did that go off at all? Shoot. Welcome back. Look who's here, my friends. From one amazing lady to another. Well, you may have noticed the last time you went to the grocery store that there were a bunch of different flavors of Oreos. So we wondered what flavor Oreo goes best with wine. Oh, of course we would. They don't do this on Drew Barrymore. That's what we called the wine diva herself. Please welcome back to the show our good friend from Amuse Wine, Leslie Miller. Hello.
Hello.
How creepy was Dawn McLean's video? Wasn't that
super creepy? Although Kendall and I were having a conversation about it, and she just said, H-E-double-L, no.
No. If that happened, wouldn't you move out?
Yeah,
you and I live near each other. I would come to your house and sleep on the floor.
I'd wheel the cart over to your house.
Yes. Okay. So where do we begin? We have a lot, and I want to get to
a quick method to my madness.
Yes.
So what I do is I pull out the main ingredient to every one of these Oreos, and then I pair that to a wine. Let's take from the top. So mint. Mint is kind of high acid. What did I pair here? That's sort of minty, that has some high acid tones. Sauvignon Blanc. So mint with the Sauvignon Blanc, perfect pairing.
Yeah, because all kidding, and we've had some fun with this. There is a method to you just didn't randomly grab an Oreo. You randomly grab. There's thought that goes into this.
Yes, but I did have a stomachache.
I bet. That's the first thing Leslie said when she came into the studio today. Yeah.
I had a huge stomachache. I want you to try this next one.
Okay.
This is the carrot cake flavor. It is very cinnamony, very nutmeggy. This is an Alsatian white. Generally, Alsatian whites tend to be a little bit more on the blended side. So you have Pinot Gris, Sylvaner, Gewürztraminer, Riesling. That with the, did you want to try it with a cookie?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just used to drinking the wine.
That with the carrot cake. So the cinnamon kind of kind of works together.
Oddly, yes, it does.
Yes, it does, right?
Yeah.
It kind of has those notes to it. Okay, this seems to be the Oreo of the season. The
Really?
apple cider donut.
This right here, guys.
Yes, the apple cider donut. So careful, careful.
This is dead, everybody. This is a fake crow. I don't want people writing me. PETA, that's a fake crow. Yeah.
So here we are with these appley notes, which a main sort of like flavor of Chardonnay is apple.
Okay.
So I kind of put these two together. I do want you to try this because this is kind of fun to try. I think overall, really kind of pull out some of the main ingredients that you think that are really displayed in that particular cookie, and then match it up with a grape that has similar characteristics.
Okay, Leslie.
Yeah?
I would love to laugh at this.
You can't,
But
though.
you can't.
You
You're
cannot
knocking
hate
this. You're knocking this out of the park.
Thank you.
This oddly goes with that.
Yes, this is, I'll tell you
Okay.
what though, you do have to use your brain and when you're doing some of these things. So lemon, that was, I'm kind of on the fence about this, but I wanted to go with muscat because muscat can display flavors of orange. And so orange and lemon together were really nice. I think the muscat's a little bit more on the sweet side, but really delicious again with the lemon. And then you have these weird things. You have these very strange.
I don't want that.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I did not. It's a little, you know me.
It's sweet.
It's
sweet
very
on sweet.
sweet.
Yes, it's
very
sweet on sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, peanut butter is always a tricky one to pair to, no matter if you're having a peanut butter dessert, whatever it is that you're doing, flan, you name it. And peanut butter generally tends to go with things that are a little bit more on the sweet side.
Yeah.
But peanut butter and Gewürztraminer did tend to be, this was also like, plus I think these are some of the best Oreos that they've made this year.
I had one before the show, and Leslie is right. That's a really
So
good Oreo.
So good.
Yeah.
So Gewürztraminer here. And then we move on to hazelnut. So I think about, okay, what's sort of a creamier, nuttier, like very chocolatey style of wine? And I just go Zin. So something that's Zinfandel based with the hazelnut, awesome. Just the regular Oreos, of course, they're coloring them orange. Really, really nice with a Côte de Rhone, something like Grenache and Syrah. I really do want you to try this one though.
Okay,
because
what is this?
This is the Java chip.
Okay, you talk while I eat.
Okay, so this has notes of chocolate and coffee, which are very significant in the grape varietal Cabernet. I know, it's a little bit sweet, but actually the Cab kind of takes it down a notch. And this little sidekick Cabernet is so delish. Plus it has a really baller lady on it. Lady squad over here.
Oh, I do
Isn't
like that
cute?
label.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's yummy, right?
That's really good, actually. I like the wine, too. Forget the Oreo. The wine's really good. What's it called again?
It is called the Sidekick Cabernet. So we can list all these wines, too.
If you like a cab, this is good. This is good. We'll put it on the Facebook page.
And then last, of course, birthday cake. I wasn't even going to attempt to try these because it's just like sweet on sweet on sweet on sweet. Oh my gosh. But if you're having a celebratory Oreo, why not have a celebratory bubble?
Yeah, like a kid's party or something.
Yeah, so
I mean,
so
don't
I
give
did.
that to the kids, but I'm just saying.
So I did this very fancy Prosecco, which our bird was very excited about.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify. I didn't say mean the kids' party to give the wine to the children, but maybe for the adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, birthday cake Oreos and a little bubbly to go with it. Celebration.
crow.
There you go, all in a package. Hard work, done, all in just a couple of minutes.
Done. It'll live forever on the internet. Leslie Miller, everybody, for more information, go to amusewine.com. That's the place to go. They have a great wine club. She can answer your questions. Follow her on social media as well. We're going to take a break. What's in the surprise goodbye today? You will find out when we find out. Back in a moment. Cheers. Bloop. Welcome back. Kendall's not going to say much here. She's just going to enjoy some wine and Oreos. It's time for the world's shortest segment. Who knew putting together a children's toy could be so stimulating? Orlando Bloom shared this video on Instagram, putting something together for his daughter Daisy with wife Katy Perry. Oh, look, that's how I look when I put together IKEA furniture. Of course, he did it shirtless, leading to more than 650,000 likes and thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. Wow. We will be right back. Back in a moment. The audience can just insert their own comments there, right? Welcome back, my friends. Kendall joins me again, and it is time for the surprise goodbye. Kendall and I are always in the dark about what the producers have put in the segment. Today, it's a flashback to something that happened on our show 4 years ago this month. Look. And so much so, there's a sequence. And see this with an audience. There was a sequence. I'm not giving anything away because I won't tell you which cast member. I quit. I'm done with these surprises. Get out of here. That was former sidekick Shane scaring the crap out of me when the movie It was coming out. Friday on the show, speaking of that, it's our Halloween extravaganza. Wait until you see our themed matching costumes. Plus, the stars of Destination Fear are back. But right now, go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Come on, Kendall.
Okay,
let's go to Ponder.